Michael, what do you think about the capacity of parapsychology, if it is real in any way, to elucidate an existence of a non-physical reality?
The alternative is that there might just be more things, so to speak, in the physics of the future than are present in physics today. So, I mean, it could be, for example, that there's some physical mechanism that allows, so to speak, telepathic communication between individuals, right? And so I don't think that on its own that if you had an experimental demonstration of the reality of telepathy, right, that would give you grounds for concluding, for example, that we are really immaterial minds or souls, or there was some sort of immaterial medium, right?
Yeah, I agree on telepathy. But when I get to something like clairvoyance, where people claim to see the future, once you get independent of time, you're really moving outside of our understanding of current of physics in the most contemporary sense.
That's absolutely right. I mean, if you imagine, for example, that someone has the ability to see the future and so on, right? And one of the things that involves is that it looks like there must be backward causation ranging from that later event back into the mind of the medium, etc.
Either backward causation or that time itself exists in another realm and in another dimension, and there's a spirit beings or God or whatever that can see it in a different way.
Oh, right. Well, the thing is that have there been any well-designed experiments, so to speak, that have led to the conclusion that there are these paranormal powers, telepathy, precognition, psychokinetic powers, and so on, right? In the case of psychokinesis and precognition, I think there are no credible experiments at all. In the case of telepathy, some scientists claim that there are, others that there aren't. I'm inclined to be skeptical on it, right?
Let me ask it this way, is that if you were convinced that a precognition experiment was real, i.e. knowing the future,
right,
what do you then say?
Well, I think that it's going to be very difficult to fit that into physics, even a revised physics and so on. I think that it would require quite a radical revision in our conception of the world, but that, I think, of course, is a reason for thinking that it's not likely to occur.
I'm forcing you to make the presupposition that there is some kinds of precognition experiments that would be true. Would that force you to reconsider the possible existence of a world that is not part of our physical world?
I don't want to say it would give us any reason to think there's anything outside of the natural world, okay, but it would require a revision in our conception of the natural world, I think.
But you're just enlarging your definition of the natural world to include anything that's real.
Well, I want to include anything. I mean, I'm thinking of the spatial temporal realm, okay, right?
But this is independent now of the spatial temporal realm.
Well, it may be. I mean, look, it's like this. If you imagine that people had immaterial minds, okay, that would be something quite independent of the physical stuff, okay?
Right.
But it would still be located in the spatial temporal physical realm, okay, right? And so...
Maybe.
Yeah, I agree, it'd be up for grabs. But I think that the natural thing would just be to think that there are these additional forces or new entities, okay, right, which are present in the total spatial temporal realm, and that causally connect up to the stuff of physics, basically.
Even backwards, yeah.
Yes.
So you're really wedded to this spatio-temporal place being all there is.
It's not that it's necessary that it's all there is. There could be other things and so on, but I just don't think there's any evidence for intervention from without. No one's ever succeeded in transmitting a message from beyond the grave so far.